Good morning to all the NEET aspirants. This is your Prasanna Ma'am from NEET World, and here we are in our 1000 questionnaire practice for our NEET 2026, and today we are going to begin with the master chapter, which is the heart of the NCERT 11, that is cell biology. In that first chapter we are going to start with beta, that is cell the unit of life. So if we get into the first question, today let's exercise most of the questionnaire from cell theory, different sizes of the cells, different shapes of the cells, and on the prokaryotic cell on whole. Okay. So if you have to look into the first question, which of the following was not a part of original cell theory which is given by or proposed by Schleiden and Schwann? Which of this is not a part of original cell theory? Look into the options carefully. All living organisms are composed of cells. Yes, this point is put forward by them. Cells are the fundamental structural units of life. True. All cells arise from pre-existing cells. This is not proposed by Schleiden and Schwann. This is said by Rudolf Virchow in his modern cell theory. Okay, Rudolf Virchow in his modern cell theory. Clear, right, ma? So here what will be the answer which is not a part of original cell theory? Option C. And D, if you see, cells function independently in multicellular organisms. Yes, that is correct. Now second question you look into, which of the following best represents the modern understanding of cell theory? Which is describing modern understanding of cell theory? Cells arise spontaneously. They are structural but not functional units. Wrong. We say cells are both structural and functional units of life. So this is wrong statement. Then cells are only structural units, again wrong. These are both structural and functional units. Look into option C. All living organisms are made of cells and all cells arise from pre-existing cells. True, because the only point proposed in modern cell theory by Rudolf Virchow is omnes cellula e cellulae, which clearly states that all cells arise from the pre-existing cells. So here option C is the right answer. Next question you look into, ma. This is match the following type of question which is clearly on the shapes of different cells from our NCERT directly. Okay. So look into all the types of cells. First, RBC. Okay. RBC is round and biconcave, so it will be option 4 here. WBC, they are amoeboid in shape and irregular, which is 2. Next, nerve cell is the longest cell and it is narrow, long and narrow. This will be 5. Tracheids. Tracheids are elongated and lignified for water transport. This will be 1. Okay. Columnar epithelial cells, again they are branched and long. Option 3 over here. Mesophyll cells, they are round and oval in shape. This will be option 6. Now correlate the options and identify the correct option, beta. A will be 4 and B is 2, C will be 5, so it is not given over here. C is 5, I will write here, A is 4, B will be 2 and C, nerve cell is long and narrow, that is, sorry, this is long and branched, right? Nerve cell is long and branched. This will be option 3 only, correct. So this is 3. Tracheids will be elongated and lignified for water transport. Columnar epithelial cells will be option 5. They are long and narrow. Next, mesophyll cells will be round and oval. So here option 1 will be the right answer. Clear, right, ma? Next question. Yeah. So here this is based on different sizes of the cells which is given in our NCERT. Which of the following is correct order of biological entities in the increasing size? So first, primary smallest cell will be what? Mycoplasma, one of its type is PPLO. Pleuropneumonia like organisms which are just 0.022, PPLO is just 0.02 to 0.2 micrometer in diameter. Next it will be virus, which is just 0.2 micrometer in diameter. Next it is bacterium, which is 1 to 2 micrometer in diameter, and then it is eukaryotic cell, which is 10 to 20 micrometers in diameter. So here what option is correct, ma? Option A will be the right answer. Next, which of the following can pass through a filter that retains bacteria but allows smaller particles? Okay, so he is asking you the filter paper through which it can easily pass through. Bacterial filter paper, what organisms can easily pass through? It is definitely PPLO, because the size of pleuropneumonia like organisms are lesser than bacteria, so they can easily pass through bacterial filter paper. So here the right answer will be what, ma? Option C. Okay. Next question. Next, which of the following statement is incorrect? So this is a statement based question. Look into each and every statement carefully. First statement, ma, unicellular organisms are capable of independent existence. That is correct only. But they cannot perform all the vital functions of life. Wrong, because each and every cell can perform all functions on its own. They are independent. So in unicellular organisms, they can perform all the functions on their own. So this will be wrong. Option B, you see, anything less than a complete structure of the cell does not ensure independent living. Correct. This is the direct NCERT line. Next, Anton van Leeuwenhoek first saw and described a living cell. Correct. Next, Robert Hooke published his work in Micrographia, wherein he described about the dead cell, that is Koch cells. Okay. So here the right answer will be option A, as they asked us for the incorrect statement. Clear, right, ma? Next question. Yeah, assertion reason type of question. Look into it carefully. In assertion, it is mentioned that prokaryotic cells will lack compartmentalization of cellular activities. Okay, prokaryotic cells will lack compartmentalization of cellular activities. True, they do not have membrane bound organelles like mitochondria and endoplasmic reticulum. Correct. So both A and R are true, but R is not explaining assertion. In this case, what option we have to go with? Option B. Okay. Next question. The feature which differentiate cells of human cheek and the cells of onion peel, undoubtedly it will be what? Outer boundary, because the outer boundary of an animal cell, that is human cheek cell, which is an animal cell, the outer boundary is cell membrane. It is cell membrane or plasma membrane. Okay, and the outer boundary or the limiting boundary of an onion peel is cell wall over the cell membrane. Okay, here it will be cell wall over the cell membrane. So what is our answer over here? This is based on the type of outer boundary. Next question you look into, ma, which of the following statements is or are true about a prokaryotic cell? Okay, so the question is about prokaryotic cell. It is circular and double stranded. Of course, prokaryotic DNA is circular and double stranded, and it is associated with histone proteins. No, they are not associated with histone proteins. The negatively charged double stranded circular DNA is associated with some positively charged proteins, but they are not the histone proteins. Next statement you look into, beta, it is located in the nucleoid region. Correct. They have introns. Intron exon arrangement will not be there in the prokaryotic DNA. Intron exon arrangement will be there in the eukaryotic DNA and in the ancestral bacteria, that is archaebacteria. Okay. So here in prokaryotic DNA, introns will not be present. So here what will be the right answer? 1 and 3. So it will be A. Clear, right, ma? Next question. Yeah. A prokaryotic cell is characterized by what? Okay. Presence of double stranded linear DNA and no histones? No, it is having double stranded circular DNA and histones. Without histones, it is having double stranded circular DNA with some positively charged proteins. And then distinct chromosomes, but no nucleus, no, they don't have distinct chromosomes. Absence of membrane bound organelles, true. Yes, they don't have membrane bound organelles. So here the right answer is option C. This question you see, ma, which of the following structures is equivalent to mitochondria in prokaryotic cell, which is highly important. Look into all the options carefully. So here undoubtedly our option will be what? Mesosomes. Okay, mesosomes of a prokaryotic cell are equivalent to mitochondria of eukaryotic cell because they are respiratory in function. Respiratory. Where are these mesosomes present? Where are these mesosomes present? Let me give you a small clarity. So the outermost layer of the cell envelope in a prokaryotic cell is what? Glycocalyx, and then it will be cell wall, and then it will be cell membrane. The cell membrane extensions towards the cytoplasm are mesosomes. Okay, cell membrane extensions, be it in the tubular form or the lamellae form or in the form of vesicles towards the cytoplasm. This type of extensions from membrane to the cytoplasm are what? Mesosomes. Okay, they are mesosomes. This mesosomes will show us the 5 functions. What are those major functions? First, of course, it is respiratory because they will be releasing out the respiratory enzymes and secretion, cell wall formation, daughter cell formation. So, these functions are conducted by mesosomes in a prokaryotic cell. So, here the answer will be what? Mesosomes. Clear, right, ma? Next question. This you see, match the structure with their function in a prokaryotic cell. So, their structure and functions are given in 2 columns. We have to match it. Of course, just now we have discussed the functions of mesosomes. Definitely it will be what? Respiration and DNA replication. Okay? DNA replication and respiration, the function which is conducted by mesosomes. And flagellum, of course, flagella is the only motile structure which is present in the prokaryotic cell. Okay, not cilia. Cilia is seen in eukaryotic cells. Only flagella is observed in prokaryotes, and that function, one and only function is what? Locomotion or movement. Next, ribosomes. Undoubtedly ribosomes function will be what? Protein synthesis only. And plasmid. Plasmid DNA we can say it as, okay, plasmid DNA, okay, it will show what? Antibiotic resistance genes, okay, plasmid DNA is showing antibiotic resistance genes, okay. So, here what will be the answers? A will be 3, B is 1, C is 2 and D is 4. Option A will be the right answer. Next question. Read the following statements with respect to cell wall and select the correct option. So, look into all the options carefully and we have to identify the combination of correct options. Statement A, you look into beta. A non-living rigid structure which forms an outer covering for the plasma membrane. True, right? Cell wall is the non-rigid structure which forms outer covering of the plasma membrane. Correct only. Next, B. This cell wall will give the shape to the cell and protects the cell from mechanical damage and infection. True. And then it helps in cell to cell interaction. Correct. Cell wall will help in cell to cell interaction. Option C is also correct. Next, cell wall will provide a barrier to undesirable macromolecules. Correct. So, all these are the functions of cell wall only. In this case, we have to take A, B, C and D, all are correct. Option 4 will be the right answer. Okay. Next question. So, here you look into some case based question is asked. A student studies cell structure under compound microscope and concludes that the cell is an animal cell. Okay, he concludes that the cell is an animal cell. Of the following, which observation might have helped him to conclude it? to conclude that the cell is animal cell. The cell and its nucleus are towards center. No, this might not be, because it will be at the center both in plant and animal cell. The cell had only cell membrane as the limiting boundary. Yes, we can consider this. And in option C, mitochondria and plastids are brightly stained. No, plastids will not be present in the animal cell. And then option D, the cell and flagella arising from the basal body. No, from basal body the flagella will be arised both in animal cell and a prokaryotic cell. So this might not be the case, which he has considered it as an animal cell. So what is the option here with which we can get convinced is option B. The cell had only cell membrane as the limiting boundary in the animal cell. Clear, right, ma? Next, the cell wall of the plant cell is removed. Which of the following ability will be lost by the cell? What ability is lost by the cell if the cell wall of plant cell is removed? Understood the question? If we have lysed the cell wall from the plant cell, what changes can you see? Okay, when cell wall is lysed from the cell membrane, when only cell membrane is exposed into the environment, definitely this cell membrane will be subjected to turgor pressure. Okay, this is subjected to turgor pressure. Fine. So when this is subjected to turgor pressure, of course it cannot prevent the cell from over expansion. Okay, so prevention of over expansion of the cell will happen because it is subjected, cell membrane will be subjected to turgor pressure when cell wall is being lysed. Clear, right? Next question. Identify the organelles on the basis of the given features. We have to identify the organelle based on their functional role. Okay. Statement A, if you have to look into, ma, this is involved in the synthesis of lipid-like steroid hormones. Lipid-like steroid hormones will be produced from smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. And in option B, show different morphological and physiological states during functioning. Okay, during functioning, different morphological and physiological states. Polymorphic structures are observed by what? Lysosomes, based on the primary, secondary, tertiary, autophagolysosomes. We have different types of lysosomes. Based on their function, their structure will be altered. So that is with respect to lysosomes. So here we can go with lysosomes. Option C you look into, ma. This is involved in cell plate formation during cytokinesis in plant cell. Of course, cell plate formation in a plant cell is initiated by middle lamella. Okay, first middle lamella from the center will be extended to the peripheral ends, that forms a cell plate, then that cell plate will be extended to what? Middle lamella, and then it forms what? Primary cell wall. So here first is smooth endoplasmic reticulum, second will be lysosomes, and third is middle lamella. Okay. So first A will be smooth endoplasmic reticulum, B is lysosomes. Let us consider C in our first option is middle lamella. Then our right answer will be option A. Yeah, look into this question, ma. Select the incorrect statement with respect to fluid mosaic model for plasma membrane. Okay, so the question is about fluid mosaic model. Answer it carefully. Look into all the statements properly. Integral proteins are partially or totally buried in the membrane. No, integral membranes will be totally buried in the membrane. So this we cannot consider it. Okay. Next, the non-polar tail of unsaturated first let us look into all the statements. Option statement B you look into, ma. The non-polar tail of unsaturated hydrocarbons is protected from the aqueous environment. Of course, if we have to take the lipid bilayer, fine. Here polar hydrophilic head is on the outer side and non-polar hydrophobic tail is towards the inner side. This non-polar hydrophobic tail is protected from the outer aqueous environment by the polar hydrophilic head. Okay. So, the non-polar tail of unsaturated hydrocarbons is protected from the aqueous environment is correct. Removal of transmembrane proteins requires crude methods of treatments like detergents. True, because extraction of transmembrane proteins or integral proteins is tough when compared to the extraction of peripheral proteins. Okay. So, definitely some crude methods, method treatments like detergents are required. Then option statement D you look into ma, the polar heads of the lipid are directed towards the inner part of the membrane. No, the polar heads are directed towards the outer side, which is protecting the non-polar tail from the aqueous environment. So, here our answer will be undoubtedly option D. Clear, right? So, this is the last question of today's session. Tomorrow we will practice all the models of the questions, match the following type, statement based, assertion, reasoning, and mostly connecting dot types of questions, comparative analysis of prokaryotic, eukaryotic, between plant cell and animal cell, and most importantly we will be solving the questions on endomembrane system. So, do not miss tomorrow's class at any cost. Okay. So, with this I will end up the session. I would like to give you a brief introduction of our NEET World's special programs, that we have NEET World's 2 steps to medicine for 11th standard students with a minimal fee of 3333, and NEET World's 1 step to medicine for 12th standard students with again the same fee structure, and NEET World's power step to medicine for all the repeaters. In this minimal fee only, complete study packages and then 2 master revision strokes will be covered. To know more about these courses, you can call us to the given number or directly visit our branch, which is in Narayanguda, Hyderabad. And to all the students who are learning in the online platform or doing self preparation for NEET 2026, NEET World is here with you with our Telegram group, wherein you will be updated with daily quizzes of biology, chemistry, physics, and the students who are preparing for JEE also will get questions, and then live class schedules will be given, and then free resources will be provided, one-on-one doubt solving session with faculty is given. So, here NEET World will be your ultimate destination for NEET, JEE, EAP set and CUET entrances as well. To know more about this, you can call us to the given number. To log in into the Telegram group, you can scan the QR code directly, or you can visit our official website, that is www.neetworld.in. Clear, right? That's all for today, and thank you. We will meet in tomorrow's session with the advanced questionnaire practice as I have discussed with you. Thank you.